Hello my book besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be finding out the 23 books that are going to be on my 2023 TBR. As you guys all know, my bookshelf is pretty much filled with a physical TBR, aka books I own but I haven't read yet. So I thought instead of me picking out the 23 books that I want to read, how about I put in all the books that I haven't read into this random generator thing and let that pick the books for me. So I made this little Wheel of Fortune situation that has all my physical TBR books. So I'm going to screen record and we will see what books I'm going to be reading. I think this is going to be so much fun. Oh my gosh. All right, let me start screen recording. Also, let me know down below what books are on your 2023 TBR and what your reading goal for the new year is going to be. I'm hoping to read 100 books in 2023 because I was able to reach the 100 book mark in 2022, so I want to see if I'm able to do it again next year. But obviously quality over quantity, I'm not going to be mad if I don't reach the 100 goal. All right, I'm about to spin for the first time. So this is the first book that's going to be on my 2023 TBR. What's it gonna be? Okay. Oh my gosh. It's literally clapping. This is the first book that's going on my TBR. Dear Enemy by Kristen Callahan. As kids, they hated each other. Mason Saint was beautiful, but despite his name, Delilah knew he was the devil. Then he dated her slightly evil sister Samantha, who was no picnic either. When they broke up, it was a dream come true. Delilah never had to see him again. 10 years later, her old enemy sends a text. Delilah's sister has stolen a valuable heirloom from Mason, now a rising Hollywood star, and he intends to collect his due. One problem, Sam has skipped town. Sparks still sizzle between Mason and Delilah, only his heat feels alarmingly like unwanted attraction. But Delilah is desperate to keep her weak-hearted mother from learning of her sister's theft. So she proposes a deal. She'll pay off the debt by being Mason's personal chef and assistant. It's a recipe for disaster, but Mason can't stop himself from accepting, even though Delilah clearly hates him. So this is going to be a childhood enemies to lovers romance, and it is a one of us is famous trope as well. I'm honestly really happy with this first choice because I've had this book for a while and I really want to read it. So I'm excited for this to be the first book on my TBR. And spin again. Before I Fall, okay. Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver was on my 2022 TBR. I started it in November, but I was in the biggest reading slump ever, so I didn't end up actually reading it, which really sucks. So it's perfect that this book is actually going on my 2023 TBR. I'm not going to read the back of the book of this book because I feel like I've read the back of the book so many times because it's been on my TBRs throughout 2022. But if you watched the movie Before I Fall, this is the book version of it. I love that movie, so I hope I love the book, and I'm so glad this came on my TBR because I really need to read it. Now we've got our third book. Oh, this is a book that I actually thrifted. This is Bridesmaid by Jane Costello. I actually did try to read one of her books in 2022, which was The Love Shack. I DNF'd it, didn't really enjoy it, but I hope Bridesmaid's gonna be good. This one is following 4 weddings, 3 disgruntled ex-boyfriends, 2 very effective chicken fillet boob enhancers, and 1 gorgeous man. Okay, this one sounds like a fun romance, so hopefully I like this a lot better than Love Shack. Yes! Oh my god, I'm so happy about this one because I've been wanting to read this one. It is Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This is the second book in the Twisted series. I've heard so many good things. I did read Twisted Love. I rated it 3 stars because I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't really like Alex. I loved Ava though, but I loved the friendship group, and I can't wait for this one because it's a bodyguard romance, and Bridget, who's the main female character, is a princess, and it's got like a lot of good spice, and I've just heard nothing but good things about this book. So I am really excited that Twisted Games popped up for this one. What's this one? No! Oh my god, no! I'm not happy about it, but Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. This is a bully romance. I'm a little scared to be reading this, but I like the concept of the fact that they were pen pals that they have never met. I'm not really sure how this book is gonna go. I was actually considering reselling this book because I don't think it's going to be something I enjoy. I have read Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, which was okay. Like, I tolerated it, but it wasn't my fave, and I don't know if this author's for me. But we got Punk 57, which was actually the book that I did not want to get, but she's going on the pile. So let's spin again. Let's hope for a better option. I'm like not looking. Okay, our next one is See You Yesterday. Derek Bloom is hoping college will be a fresh start after a messy high school experience, but when school begins on September 21st, everything goes wrong. She's humiliated by the know-it-all in her physics class. She botches her interview for the college paper, and at a party that night, she accidentally set a frat house on fire. She panics and flees, and when she realizes her roommate locked her out of their dorm, she falls asleep in the common room. The next morning, Barrett's perplexed to find herself back in her dorm room bed. No longer smelling of ashes and crushed dreams. It's September 21st again. And after a confrontation with Miles, the guy from Physics 101, she learns she's not alone. He's been trapped for months. When her attempt to fix her timeline fails, she agrees to work with Miles to find a way out. Soon they're exploring the mysterious underbelly of the university and going on wild romantic adventures. What happens to their relationship if they finally make it tomorrow? I'm very excited for this book. This is like giving me Groundhog Day vibes. I love that it's set in a university campus as well. I think that's so fun, and they're both stuck on this time loop repeating the same day and they fall in love. I think that's going to be such a fun book, so I'm very excited that I got this book. Time to spin again. Yes, I'm happy about this one too. The Dragon Promise by Elizabeth Lim. This is the sequel to Six Crimson Cranes, which I read in 2022. Absolutely love that book, and I had to pick up The Dragon Promise as soon as it came out, and I'm very excited that this book is on my TBR because now I have a definite excuse to read it and continue on the series because I loved Six Crimson Cranes. Our next one is My Mechanical Romance by Alexine Farrell Bolmoff. The cover is really pretty on this one. It's literally around 250 pages, so I'm gonna smash this out. Absolutely, I think this is gonna be perfect for when I'm in a reading slump. So this is like set in a high school setting, so it's young adult, and the main character is a nerd. She loves engineering and she's in the robotics club, and then like her love interest is captain of the football team, but is also in the robotics club. But it's also kind of like opposites attract situation as well, but I think it's friends to lovers. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I just read Alexine Farrell Bolmoff, who's the author of My Mechanical Romance. She is actually the same author that wrote the Atlas 6, but under her pen name Olivia Blake. That is so cool, especially considering they're like two different genres, right? I haven't read the Atlas 6, but maybe I'll pick it up if I enjoy this one. Yes! Oh my gosh, I'm happy about this one too. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. So excited. I've heard so many good things about this book, especially because it's like adult Disneyland as the setting, and it's Grumpy Sunshine, which is my favorite trope. We've got workplace boss employee romance. Apparently the spice is good. It's dual POV, and I know that this book has a playlist. I love when books have playlists attached to the book, like Chef's Kiss, amazing. So we've got Rowan and Zara. Rowan is trying to renovate Dreamland, and he hires Zara, who actually submits a drunk proposal criticizing Dreamland's most expensive ride, and she is basically hired to work for Rowan. Zara is like full of sunshine, and Rowan is very rude, completely off limits, and just like very grumpy. All right, next one. Oh, we got a sad book. P.S. I Love You by Cecilia Ahern. I read Pack Up the Moon this year, and this book reminds me a lot of Pack Up the Moon, except the gender roles are reversed. I will need to pick this up when I'm in the mood for a little bit of an emotional cry, but this is following Holly and Jerry, who have been childhood sweethearts, but when Jerry dies, Holly is absolutely devastated, but he's actually left her a bundle of notes, one for each month of the year, each signed P.S. I Love You. So it's basically a book about grief and healing and moving on, and I love when there are letters and things like that on books. Pack Up the Moon was a 5-star read for me. It was so freaking good, and this book has such a similar plot line to it, so I'm very excited because I think I'm going to really enjoy this one because I really enjoyed Pack Up the Moon. What do we got? Hopeless! Yay! We got Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. We finally got a Coho book. I'm going to be going into this book completely blind, so I don't know anything about this book. All right, let's spin again. Wonder if we'll get another Colleen Hoover book. Maggie Moves On. This is actually my newest book on my TBR because I got this gifted to me from my friend Shelby for Christmas, and that is Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. This book cover is so freaking cute. So this book is actually following our main character named Maggie, who is a house flipper, and she's a YouTuber as well, which is so fun because I'm a YouTuber too, obviously. And she arrives in this tiny American town with only a coffee maker, and she's prepared to restore a crumbling Victorian mansion in 4 months or less. She has a to-do list, blueprints, and her team. What she doesn't have is time for a sexy, laid-back landscaper named Silas. The man takes flirtation to a whole new level, and he does it shirtless. He and his dog are impressively persistent, but she's not interested in putting down roots, not when fans tune in to watch her travel the country, turning dilapidated houses into dream homes. A short-term fling, on the other hand, could fit nicely into her calendar. After all, Maggie remembers what fun is like vaguely. As their summer gets downright steamy, Silas manages to demolish the emotional walls she spent years building. With the end of the project looming, she has a decision to make, but how can she stay when her entire career is built on moving on? I am so excited for this book. Oh my gosh. I love that we have a main character who is like girl boss vibes. She's a YouTuber, she's a house flipper, and then we've got our love interest who has a dog. I don't care that he's a landscaper. The fact that he's a dog is like green flags for me. I'm excited to see how Lucy Score is adding the YouTube like content creator side as Maggie's character. I think that's going to be such a fun book and something that I can relate to. So I'm very, very excited to be reading this. Spinning again. We've got another Colleen Hoover book. This is another book that I am kind of going into blind. No. Fine. The X Talk by Rachel and Solomon. I tried to read this book in 2022 and I DNF'd it after I think like the second or third chapter because I was getting really bored already. So it looks like this is a sign for me to give it another shot. This is like a fake exes to lovers, so that's something interesting that I've never read before. They are both working for this radio station, and Shay is a producer at the radio station and has been for like nearly a decade, but she's always having arguments with her colleague named Dominic, who's fresh off a journalism master's program and convinced that he knows everything about public radio. But when the struggling station needs a new concept, Shay proposes a show called The X Talk, where two exes will deliver relationship advice live on air, and the boss basically forces Shay and Dominic to be the co-hosts for the X Talk, and they have to be fake exes for that. Like, the concept sounds very interesting and so cool, especially the fake exes, but when I was reading this book I was getting very bored. I'll have to give it another shot. Yay! So we've got the second book in my favorite book series, which is the Wild series by K.A. Tucker. So we've got Wild at Heart. This is the second book that follows The Simple Wild, still following Calla and Jonah. You guys know The Simple Wild was my favorite book of 2022. I love that book so freaking much, and I own the rest of the series, but I haven't read them yet. So I'm very excited that we've got Wild at Heart because now I definitely need to read it in 2023. Okay, this is so fitting. I am not mad about it. Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, which I'm definitely not mad that I got this book because I think it's a book that's been on my TBR the longest, and I really wanted to read it in 2022 but never got around to doing it. So this book follows Alex, who is the son of the President of the United States, and Henry, who is an actual prince. And Henry and Alex don't get along. They have beef with each other, so it's kind of enemies to lovers, and it ends up being a secret forbidden romance. And it also goes from like a fake Instagrammable friendship that grows into a secret forbidden romance. Hey Ali, if you're watching this video, you are gonna be so happy about this one because we have got Normal People by Sally Rooney, which was gifted to me from my beautiful friend Ali, and she actually annotated the book for me, which is like literally the sweetest thing ever, sweetest gift I've ever received in my entire life. I am a little bit scared about this book because I've never read a Sally Rooney book before, and I've heard so many mixed reviews about her books. We'll see how we go. I just really appreciate the fact that Ali literally literally annotated this book for me. Like, I'm just gonna cry right now because that's the sweetest present. But this book follows Connell and Marianne, who grew up in the same small town in the west of Ireland. In school, Connell is popular and well liked while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. I've heard that this book is definitely character focused and there's not really much of a plot going on. So I think I need to be in a specific mood to be reading Normal People, but I have been very intrigued by this book, so I'm very excited. I'm also really excited to be seeing all of Ali's annotations in this book because I think that's going to be so fun. We got a Disney fairy tale retelling, Go the Distance. This is basically about what if Meg had to become a Greek goddess. So Hercules has regained his godship, but Zeus tells Meg that she can't be with the hero because she's mortal. Luckily, Hera has a solution that would see Meg join Hercules on Mount Olympus as a goddess. The quest to rescue Meg's ex-boyfriend's wife from the underworld. The same ex who left her while she was trapped by Hades. Can Meg defeat monsters and gods alike and finally put her past behind her? Okay, I'm not mad about that, but I just don't have the first book and I don't know if I need to read them in order. But I have got To Hate Adam Connor by Ella Mays. This is an enemies to lovers romance. I think also has the one of us is famous trope because Adam is an award-winning actor, also recently divorced and a single dad. So we've also got the single dad trope. Lucy and Adam live next door to each other and Adam actually gets Lucy arrested this one time, and after that night they're sworn enemies. I believe To Love Jason Thorne is actually the first book, so I don't know if I need to read that book before I read this one or if I can just read this as a standalone. So if you guys know, please let me know. Okay, yay! I'm gonna save this book specifically for winter, but we have got From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata, who I've heard is the queen of slow burns. This is an enemies to lovers sports romance. They're both figure skaters and that is all I know. And I'm very, very excited to pick this one up. This will be my first Mariana Zapata book and I've heard that this is a good book to start with. So I'm very, very excited, but also very nervous because this book is very chunky. We've got another Jane Costello book, My Single Friend by Jane Costello, which I also got Bridesmaid by Jane Costello, so I really hope I like these two books. But My Single Friend follows 4 bad dates, 3 sassy women, 2 inseparable friends, and 1 way too successful makeover. I've got my fingers crossed. I hope this book is good because we've got 2 Jane Costello books. Okay, I'm gonna try and speed do this because my laptop's about to die. Alright, and we've got Last Chance Books, which is an enemies to lovers romance. I think it's either young adult or new adult, but the 2 main characters own competing bookstores that are like right opposite each other and they're like trying to run each other out of business. And I'm just very excited for this book because these 2 book characters love books and they own competing bookstores, so like that's already got me hooked. And like the book cover, like do you see that? They're literally standing on books. Like how cool. This book cover is stunning. So I've got high hopes for this one. Let's hope she's good, especially because she's a hardback. Alrighty, now we have reached the 23rd and final book that's going to be on my 2023 TBR. So let's see what she is. Well, please let it be a good one. We started off so strong. Oh my god, that's such a strong end. That was literally the perfect end to this video because my last book on my 2023 TBR is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang, which is Josh and Jules. Jules, based on Twisted Love that I read, she is my favorite female character in the group and so I'm so excited for this. It's enemies with benefits. So it's basically enemies with benefits to lovers and I think that's so cool. Jules is just like bad bitch energy and I freaking love her. So I'm very excited. She's like girl boss lawyer queen. Josh is a doctor, like that is such a powerful, intimidating, hot couple. So these are the books that the random generator has picked for my 2023 TBR. The question is, am I going to actually read all these books in 2023? That is the big question. So many of these books have been anticipated reads for me. Some of them are like out of my comfort zone, like Pump 57 and Normal People. Yeah, overall, I am so happy that I decided to pick my 2023 TBR this way, because otherwise I think I really would have struggled. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below what is on your 2023 TBR, and let me know what book I should start 2023 off with according to the books that have been selected for me. So give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed watching, and subscribe to my channel down below. I post new videos every single week. Follow me over on my social medias. I'll have everything linked down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!